So, hello there. Just been reading my well-worn Bible, as it were, which is obviously a good sign if your Bible's well-worn, because it means it's been used, hopefully, not just carried around. And been reading the last couple of days about Cain and Abel. Reading here, I remembered one time in Romania, at a camp at the mountains in a little village, walking along and seeing a pig. Some people gathered around a pig. The pig was on its back. It had some sort of torch, like a fire one, or a sort of blowtorch type thing. And so obviously I realised this pig had seen its last day, and the people there, they were doing something, and a bit later on one of them turned up with some pig skin, a bit of a delicacy apparently in Romania, and managed to convince one of the American girls in the camp to try some, suggesting that it was actually Romanian pancake, which maybe in a way it was. Anyway, she wasn't too pleased about that, but this was probably one of the closest situations I've got to seeing an animal actually being sacrificed. If we'd been living in Bible times, we'd be much more familiar with the idea of animals being sacrificed. Reading Cain and Abel, their story, it's interesting to see that the first two people born, even they had the concept of bringing sacrifices to God. Cain brings the sacrifice of the fruits of the land because he was a farmer. Abel also brings sacrifices from his flocks. Interestingly, it's Abel's sacrifices which God looks favourably upon. We see that it was him who brought the best to God. He brought some of the firstborn, and he brought large fat portions, whereas it suggests the text that Cain just brought a very simple offering, maybe more just for the sake of bringing an offering. Seems like he didn't give his all, he didn't give his best, maybe he just gave what was left over, or what was bad, or what he didn't particularly want. And so I guess this is a lesson for us and a challenge for us to think about what we bring to God. Do we bring a true sacrifice, giving our best, giving to God things that maybe otherwise we would want for ourselves, such as time and energy and money and other resources, or do we just try and get away with giving God what's left over, what we don't really need or want? And ultimately this says something about our heart, our attitude to God. Are we so connected to God in our heart that we desire to give him our best? If you truly love a person, you want to give them the best, give them everything you can. And later on in this story, we see the unfortunate consequences of Cain's lack of love for God, the fact that he commits the first murder, that he tries to hide and cover it up, that he ends up being exiled, it would seem, from God's presence, living in the wilderness. However, there is also a positive sign in this story, because ultimately Eve gives birth to Seth, who is, if you like, a replacement, somebody taking the place of Abel. And this is obviously a reminder of the fact that ultimately the solution for these problems of sin, which we all struggle with like Cain, is that there's somebody, Jesus, who was born to take our place, and we in one sense need to die like Abel, so that then Jesus can take our place in the same way that Seth took Abel's place. Jesus takes the place in our lives of our sinful self, and then we can start living a life with him. So wish you a good day, and wish you to know this substitution in your life, dying to sin and allowing Jesus to take the place. So have a good day. Bye bye.